Alright, so on day one, I spawned in. I spawned in a tree. It isn't really the best spawn. I kind of would have preferred to spawn somewhere else. But like every other survival world, you first go get wood. And that's what I did. And after I got my wood, I made my wood tools, went down, got some cobblestone, made my stone tools, and then I went over to the village. When I got to the village, I got these hay bales. I'm pretty much just getting all the hay bales here. That's basically what I did the whole time I was there. I killed this cow because I felt like it. I didn't think it needed to live anymore. I found this house and it had bookshelves in it, which is very, very useful for a later game. I found a ravine right here that was right next to the village. I go in the ravine because I like to get iron like right away. I like to get my stuff right away. It's a hardcore world. You want to try to get it set up really quickly. So I get the iron. I start strip mining. I don't really find anything good in the strip mine. So I basically just found this cave. And I basically made this cave my home. I found this creeper. I didn't die from it, luckily. I ended up killing it. I got some iron right before I got to bed. I put my furnace down, crafting table, started smelting my iron, and that was basically the end of day one. And let's move on to day two. Alright, so for day two, I got my iron. And then I made all of my iron gear because if I didn't have my iron gear by now, I would have felt not safe because the mobs can kill you very easily, and you only got one life, so you need to be very careful. And so that was pretty much day two. At the end of the day, I made my way out of the ravine and just slept. Let's move on to day three. Alright, so on day three, this entire day, we got food pretty much. There isn't really anything else we did. We ended up finding a ruined nether portal, which was very helpful to making a nether portal later on, which is obviously a necessity. But then I ended up making a forest fire because I clearly don't know how flint and steel works near trees. That's basically all we did this day. Let's move on to day four. So this day is very, very short, but all I did was get some food because we needed it, and we just built a little bit of a house so we could actually, live in a house now. Let's move on to day five. So for day five, I started to explore a little bit. Ended up finding this pillage base, and I killed the captain there because I really wanted to do a raid so we could get emeralds early on and totems of undying because it's obvious why we'd want that stuff. And pretty much that entire day I did the raid. There wasn't really anything else that happened that day because I almost died actually right here. The evokers do a lot of damage. But that's pretty much day five. Let's move on to day six. Alright, so for day six, I'm still doing that raid. And these Vindicators right here actually almost got me very, very low. If they hit me twice, that would have brought me down to one hit by them. Luckily, I killed them. I finished the raid. I go back home. I put my stuff in chests because I have so much stuff over from the raid because raids give you a lot of stuff. I basically moved my bed from outside to inside because I don't know why you would want to sleep outside. I don't know who does that. I got some sugarcane to make some paper later on for books and stuff. I found this villager, and he was selling a Protection 4 book for actually pretty freaking cheap. So I got 2 Protection 4 books, and that was basically the end of day 6. Let's move on to day 7. Alright, for day 7, I started to put chests inside of the house so I could have items inside the house instead of outside. I started to dig down so we could start having strip mines so we could actually start finding diamonds. And while I was mining down, I found some lapis, which is pretty nice. And that was basically the end of day 7. We didn't really do anything else. So let's move on to day 8. So in day 8, I ended up finding diamonds while strip mining. And this was the only set of diamonds I found. I'm not sure how many diamonds were in this vein, but that was pretty much the end of day 8. Didn't really find anything else. So let's move on to day 9. Alright, day 9. It was time to get out of the strip mine, and that's what we did, and we went to bed. That's the end of day 9. I'm sorry it was so short, but it happens. Alright, it was day 10, and we got food. That's basically what we did this whole time. We made this villager. We kept changing him to see if we got a good book. And eventually, I got really, really lucky on my second time. I think I got a Sharpness 5 book, which was very, very nice, but later on, I believe I actually lost him. I believe his book changed or something happened. I don't remember what happened, but that's all we did on day 10, so let's move on to day 11. Alright, so on day 11, we started to make, like, a basement to our house so you can make an enchantment table. And after that, we actually had to go get wood. So that's basically what we did. We went to go get wood, and I had to finish this by myself because my friend left me because he didn't want to play with me. No, I was kidding. But anyway, I basically had to finish it by myself, and that's the end of day 11. So we went on to day 12. All right, so on day 12, I put the enchantment table down. I put a bunch of bookshelves around it so I could make it a max enchantment table. I put my diamond pickaxe in there, and I see I'm breaking 3 is the 3rd enchantment. I'm level 29, so I go out to get 30 levels. Before I actually enchant it, I go to bed, so let's move on to day 13. So on day 13, I enchant my pickaxe, and I get the best enchantments you can get. Fortune 3, Unbreaking 3, and Efficiency 4. And then I fill in that last bookshelf because it was really making me mad. And I believe right now I am making a furnace room. I don't exactly remember. So let's move on to day 14. Alright, so on day 14, I started off the day with getting wood because I was actually making a nether portal room. And so this is basically what I did. I made an outline for the nether portal room, and then when I went in the nether, I started to trade with piglins because I wanted to get ender pearls really, really fast, really early on, because getting ender pearls later on would be just annoying. And while I was actually trading with them, a magma cube almost killed me. Yeah, I know. Dying from a magma cube is pretty sad, I know. But I didn't end up dying from it, which is really lucky. But I didn't really get much from these piglins, but a little bit after I kept trading with them a lot more, I got a total of 15 ender pearls, which was fantastic. And that was pretty much the end of day 14. Let's move on to day 15. Alright, so for day 15, I started the day off with strip mining, but I didn't actually find anything while I was strip mining. So I go back up under the surface. I broke the back side of the house because I thought it was uneven. I thought the house was like not symmetrical, and I broke the whole back of it, and it turns out that it was already even before, so I basically just had to put all that wood back that I broke. It was just really annoying. So let's move on to day 16. Alright, so on day 16, I was enchanting and re-enchanting my sword, or disenchanting and re-enchanting my sword to see if I can get a good enchantment. Then eventually my level 3 was Unbreaking 3. So I was about to go to the nether to get 30 levels. However, my friend found a bunch of diamonds. So I went to go help him get the diamonds. And that's basically what I did. I got all the diamonds he found. I strip mined for a little bit. I found some more diamonds. But that's basically what we did for day 16. Just found a bunch of diamonds. And I was about to go to the nether, but I didn't. So let's just move on to day 17. On day 17, I went to go to the nether. And later I'll turn these shaders off that make the nether so dark. I eventually got really annoyed about it. But I go back to the overworld, and I enchanted my sword, which had Unbreaking 3, and I sadly got Bane of Arthropods 4. So of course, I would disenchant it, and my level 3 enchantment ended up being Looting 3 this time, which was very, very nice. So I got back from the nether and got Looting 3, and I got Looting 3 knockback 2, so I was actually okay with that. I was hoping I would at least get sharpness on it, but I didn't. So I go back to the pillage base to find, or I think I was trying to get kill a captain for a raid. I don't exactly remember why I did this, but I did it. So after that, I basically went to sleep, and that was the end of day 17. Move on to day 18. Okay, so on day 18, I was doing the raid, and these witches right here actually poisoned me, and they brought me down to half a heart. So I basically dug down, I waited for my health to go back up, and that was pretty much all I did for this day. I just did the raid, and at the end of the day, after I finished the raid, I found another captain. So I got him, and I got another curse on me, so I basically was going to do another raid. Alright, on day 19, my friend found a lot more diamonds. He found 3 veins of diamonds, and 2 of those veins were actually right next to each other, which was very lucky on his part to actually find those diamonds. And I go back up to the surface, and I made another diamond sword, and I was re-enchanting it and disenchanting it to try to get another good sword again. And I got sharpness 4 as my 3rd enchantment, so I go back to the nether. I go and come back, And I enchant it and get sharpest 4, knockback 2, which was pretty nice. And that's pretty much the end of day 19. So we're on day 20. All right, day 20. That curse I got from killing the captains, I am going to now do the raid. And I had to make iron golems, or else this probably wouldn't have gone well. And of course, knowing my luck, I do finish the raid, but all of the villagers die. And it really, really annoyed me, so I ended up getting off this day. So let's just move on to day 21. Day 21, me and my friend, we were getting a bunch of wood because we were starting to make a storage room because we were starting to get a lot of items and we needed more storage. So we made a storage room. We spent this entire day doing that. So after that, that's pretty much went to bed. And let's move on to day 22. Day 22, we spent pretty much the whole day, just like day 21, making a storage room. We just filled it up with chests. We started organizing items. And that's pretty much the end of day 22. So we move on to day 23. Alright, so on day 23, we started to get more wood because we were going to finish up the storage room because we were working on it for 2 days straight. And we basically finished up the storage room, added a bunch of chests to it, and we started organizing items. But first, before we did that, we had to add a bunch of item frames on it so we actually know what chests are what. So that's pretty much all we did this day. So let's move on to day 24. On day 24, I put the last few chests we needed in order for it to make a full storage room. So we started organizing all the items left. I went to the nether to get more levels, and then something weird really happened that I never knew could happen. My friend was in the nether, he was trying to get back, and then a gas shot a fireball at a portal. It went through the portal, and then it blew up a lot of our wood from inside, which really just didn't make any sense to me. And after that, I went to go get some iron because we really needed iron, and that's pretty much day 24. Let's move on to day 25. So on day 25, it was time for me to start making my enchanted diamond armor. That's what I did. My boots got feather falling 4, fire protection 3. My leggings and my chest plate ended up having protection 4 for the level 3. So I went to the nether. I came back. I enchanted my chest plate, and I only got protection 4, which I was kind of sad about. I wish I got at least Unbreaking 3 or something like that, but I didn't. But it's kind of unfortunate, and I ended up making a netherite sword, which was pretty good, I guess, at the time. And that's pretty much it. Ended day 25. Let's move on to day 26. Day 26, I went to the nether, got levels, enchanted my sword, got Unbreaking 3 and Sharpness 3, and repaired my helmet. And that's pretty much all I did for day 26. Let's move on to day 27. Day 27, I began the day with strip mining. And I wasn't really expecting to find much. And I ended up finding 6 veins of diamonds. I don't know how I did it. It felt like I was X-raying, but I wasn't. I just kept going, and it just kept getting more and more diamonds. I don't know how, but I did. So let's move on to day 28. All right, day 28. I begin the day off with still strip mining from last day, and I find a vein of diamonds again. I don't know what my luck is. I just have really good luck. And I went back up to the surface. I started to make my furnace room like I was originally going to do. And that's pretty much what I did the rest of this day. I just made the furnace room, put down a wall of blast furnaces, and that's the end of day 28, so we went to day 29. So I began day 29 off with trying to get a good level 3 enchantment for my leggings. And I ended up getting Unbreaking 3, so I was fine with that. So I basically just resumed making my furnace room. I finished putting all of the normal furnaces down. I went out to go get a bunch of oak logs, because that's what you need to make a smoker. And so I put down a wall of smokers, and I pretty much finished my furnace room at this point. So that's the end of day 29. Let's move on to day 30. So day 30 is very short, but my friend joined back, that joined at the beginning. I went to go get him from spawn. That's what I did, and I basically was exploring the nether for the rest of that day. I didn't really find anything, so let's move on to day 31. Alright, day 31, me and my friend found a nether fortress, and right away, we basically fell on top of a blaze spawner, so I got a bunch of blaze rods, as many as I could, and there's this wither skeleton that surprised me. He ended up withering me, but he dropped a wither skeleton head, so that was really good. I found this chest that had 2 diamond horse armor in it, which was also fantastic, and after that, me and my friend found a bastion fortress, which normally they don't have anything in them, so we didn't really find anything. That's pretty much day 31. Let's move on to day 32. Alright, day 32. I enchanted my diamond shovel and got silk touch 1, efficiency 4, and breaking 3, which is really nice to have. And the rest of the day, I pretty much got a bunch of oak logs. I don't remember the reason why I got all of these oak logs, but I did. And the rest of that day, I just got grass blocks. So let's move on to day 33. So I begin day 33 off with getting grass blocks like I ended off on day 32. And after that, I spend pretty much the rest of the day getting wood, and I start building a fence so I can have all the animals I want. And that's the end of day 33. Let's move on to day 34. So I spend all of day 34 gathering up animals for the little animal farm I'm going to guess. So I know this day's short, but let's just move on to day 35. Alright, at the start of day 35, I'm still gathering animals because I still didn't get all the ones I needed from day 34. So I basically gathered up the rest of the animals I needed. And I started making just a farm like for carrots and wheat because for some reason at this point I didn't have a farm. I don't know why I didn't, but that's pretty much what I did for day 35. Let's move on to day 36. Day 36, I basically farmed a bunch of quartz to get levels, level 30, because I was going to enchant my hoe. I enchanted my hoe, and I got Fortune 3 and a Breaking 3, which was exactly what I wanted. I would have preferred to have Efficiency 4 as well, but, I'm not complaining. And I spent the rest of that day basically expanding my farm, so let's move on to day 37. Alright, day 37, I'm still expanding my farm, and I pretty much, instead of having like one layer of just crops and then water, I have 2 layers and then water because I just felt like having one layer in water wasn't efficient enough. And I put chests down for the farm and put item frames on them. And let's just move on to day 38. Alright, so for all of day 38, I start strip mining in the nether. I almost instantly find some netherite scraps, which is really, really nice to have. And that's pretty much what I did for day 38. I just mined this whole day. I got a good amount of netherite scraps. So let's just move on to day 39. Alright, day 39. This one villager I had left in the village, I kept trying to change his librarian books, and very, very quickly, I actually got mending, which was very, very nice. So after that, I went back to the pillage base to get a curse on me so I can get really, really cheap mending books. So that's exactly what I did. So let's just move on to day 40. Alright, day 40, I start doing the raid. And it went perfectly. I didn't die at all. I completed the raid. It was very easy, actually, because of my armor. And at the end of that day, I started to strip mine in the nether again, because I really wanted to get netherite armor as quick as I could. Day 41, spent this whole day strip mining, so let's just move straight on to day 42. Day 42, I was trying to farm my crops, and I had a little bit of a surprise attack. A creeper kind of blew up a little bit of my farm, and it was really annoying that it did that, and I had to fix it. Wasn't really that much or really that hard to fix it, but I did it. And at the end of the day, I made all of my armor and netherite armor. So this world is going really great at this point. So let's move on to day 43. Day 43, I begin the day off with breeding the animals because I hardly had any animals at this point. And at the end of that day, I watched my friend get a bunch of XP, and it made me sad, and I started to cry. So let's move on to day 44. Day 44, I begin that day breeding animals, and I finish out that day with getting levels in the nether. Day 45, I spend this day getting levels, and the rest of the day I breed the animals and farm. So let's move on to day 46. Alright, day 46, we start to go find the stronghold. That's what we do. We arrive there, but we do not go in the portal quite yet. Alright, day 47, we kill the dragon with hardly any effort. It was so easy to kill it. So after that, we basically were exploring the end cities, and right away we got an elytra, which is very nice. So let's move on to day 48. Alright, day 48, we spend this whole day in the end, and I believe we get a lot of elytras, just a lot of diamond stuff overall. So let's just move on to day 49. Day 49, I spend this entire day trying to get a really, really good sword, so that's exactly what I did. I ended up getting a really, really good sword, so let's just move on to day 50. Alright, day 50, I go and get another curse on me so I can do a raid, and I finish this raid with like hardly any effort. It's so easy to do these raids now since I have really good netherite armor. After that, the mending books were literally 6 emeralds, so I bought so many mending books, as many as I could until the villager wasn't letting me buy anymore. So That's pretty much ended day 50. Let's move on to day 51. Day 51, I go to a village that actually has villagers, and I'm basically going to transport villagers there to my house so I can actually be able to have villagers at my house and be able to trade with them. So let's move on to day 52. Day 52, I ended up mining out a way to build rails so I could transport the villagers, so that's what I did. And I started to make a little place for the villagers to live in. So let's move on to day 53. Alright, day 53, I spent this entire day mining out an area for the villagers. So let's just move on to day 54. Day 54, I finish up mining out the area for the villagers, and I basically finish up this area. So move on to day 55. Alright, day 55. By the start of that day, I was actually transporting villagers, and by the end of that day, I ended up having 2 villagers. So I basically got all my villagers from them to just breeding. So let's move on to day 56. So day 56, I spent this whole day flying around with my elytra, and I found a jungle. And the reason I was looking for a jungle is because I need bamboo, so I can make a raid farm, because you need scaffolding to make a raid farm. So let's just move on to day 57. Alright, day 57, I go back to the end because I just like collecting a bunch of just diamond gear and having a bunch of elytras, just because that's who I am as a person. I just like having all that stuff. But at the end of the day, I start heading back home. So let's move on to day 58. Day 58, I spend a lot of this day getting coal for all the furnaces I have back at home, because I have so many furnaces. And I ended up, when I was strip mining, I came across the ravine that was at spawn. And I got really mad at myself because I ended up finding diamonds in that ravine. I don't know how I missed them at the beginning because they were so obvious to find. And so after that, I go back home, put all the coal in the furnaces, and that's pretty much the end of that day. So we move on to day 59. Day 59, I ended up finding an ocean, and I actually needed to find an ocean because I was going to make a water elevator to go up and down in my strip mine, because I'm tired of having to use water to swim up and down. So I got kelp to make that, because you need kelp in order to make a water elevator. And that's pretty much what I did this entire day. So let's move on to day 60. So day 60, I spend a lot of this day making a water elevator because I kept messing up and kept getting just super unlucky. And after that, I kept changing the librarians I had to get different books, see if I can get really good books. Then I ended up getting a librarian that had an efficiency 5, which was as their level 1. So that was really good. But that's pretty much all the stuff that happened on day 60. Let's move on to day 61. Alright, day 61, I was changing my farmers so they would accept carrots for emeralds. So that's what I basically did for most of this day. Then after that, I went back to the pillage base to get a curse on me so I could get these guys to sell really cheap. So that's what I did. So let's move on to day 62. Day 62, I bought a bunch of efficiency 5 books from that one villager I got. So I put efficiency 5 on all of my tools, and I made an iron golem for the villagers, and that's the end of day 62. Let's move on to day 63. Day 63, I sell a bunch of my carrots to the villagers, so I get a lot of emeralds from them, and I spend the rest of the day just getting levels in the nether. So let's move on to day 64. So I start this day off with getting levels in the nether. After that, I actually make a bow, or make like a really good bow, because I don't have a good bow right now. I have pretty trash bow. Then I watch the villagers, do the thing a little bit, and then we end off in the nether, strip mining for netherite. So let's move on to day 65. Day 65, I spend this whole day getting wood and shearing sheep for more beds so I can strip mine. So let's just move on to day 66. So on day 66, I was gathering supplies for a creeper farm I was going to make, because I really needed rockets for my elytra. And at the end of that day, I started to begin it. So these next few days are just going to be me building a creeper farm. So on day 67, I'd say like I'm a fifth done with it. So let's move on to day 68. So on day 68, I'd say I'm probably like a little bit more than halfway done with this. So let's just move on to day 69. So on day 69, I basically finished the creeper farm. So I was actually ready to hopefully get creepers to spawn and I get gunpowder. So on day 70, I finally finished it, and I was just waiting for creepers to fall. I was hoping that I'd actually get creepers to spawn. On day 71, I found out that this farm does not work at all. I did build it on other worlds, and I guess I just didn't learn from my mistakes that this creeper farm does not work at all. It did give me some gunpowder, like 9 gunpowder I think, but it didn't give me anything. So let's move on to day 72. So I just spent days 72 and 73 just strip mining in the nether, and I did end up getting a lot of netherite scraps. I don't remember how many I got, But I did get a good amount, which is very nice. So let's move on to day 74. So I begin day 74 with just strip mining in the nether because I was already there. And I get back to the overworld and I change some of my villagers to get different books for their librarians. I ended up getting a protection 4 villager and a luck of the sea villager, luck of the sea 3 villager. So I was happy with that. So I just left them as they are. And let's just move on to day 75. So I spent all of day 75 waiting for a captain to spawn so I can get a curse so I can do a raid at my villagers. And that's exactly what I did. So I could get really, really cheap protection 4 books, and that's what I did. So day 76, I'm going to be doing the raid. So I pretty much spent all of day 76 doing the raid. And that's pretty much all I did this day. I didn't really do anything else besides the raid. So let's just move on to day 77. So on day 77, I began that day trading with my villagers because I needed unbreaking books. And after that, I went to a zombie spawner. I didn't actually show me finding it, but I went to it because I was going to make a drown spawner. So let's move on to day 78. So on day 78, I was beginning to get the supplies I needed to actually make a drown farm. And while I was trying to actually find out where that zombie spawner was, I came across a mine shaft, and I didn't really care about it. So I kind of just explored it a little bit to try to find if there's any spawners, but there wasn't. So let's just move on to day 79. On day 79, I just finished up the drown farm, and it turns out that this was actually working very, very well. However, this wasn't working the way I thought it was going to, because I don't think that when you turn a zombie from a zombie spawner into a drown, I don't think it'll drop a trident, which I was very disappointed to see. But nonetheless, it was still a really good XP farm, so let's move on to day 80. Alright, on day 80, I was sitting there and testing my drown farm. It was working flawlessly. It just wasn't giving me any tridents, which that was exactly the reason why I built this, to try to get tridents, but it was still a good XP source. At the end of that day, I actually made a little place for my potions and stuff like that, because just having them in the storage room, they just kind of took up too much space because of all the water bottles, stuff like that. So having that extra storage for them was really nice. So let's move on to day 81. So on day 81, I spent pretty much this whole day doing a raid, and this raid went well, just like all the other raids. I knew I wasn't gonna die because my armor was just really, really good. So let's just move on to day 82. So on days 82 and 83, I spent both of these days just gathering supplies for a different type of creeper farm I was gonna make, because the last creeper farm was really bad, and so I was hoping that this creeper farm would actually work. So on day 84, I spent this entire day AFKing because I was writing to the drown farm. I wanted all of them to build up because I was really hoping they'd, drop a trident. But they sadly didn't. On day 85, I killed all of them, and there was a lot of drowns, and none of them dropped a trident, which I was really, really sad about. So all of day 86 and all of day 87, I spent both of these days gathering cobblestone for the creeper farm I was going to make. So on day 88, I began to start to build really, really high up so I could actually get the creepers to spawn, so I wouldn't have all like the animals and stuff down below, preventing them from spawning. So day 88, I began the creeper farm. So day 89, I got the little water platform that they're all going to drop onto, so they actually go down into the kill chamber. So on day 90, I got 2 layers of the creeper farm done, and I believe I built like 4 layers. I'm not entirely sure. But day 90, I got 2 layers done. On day 91, I was getting very, very close to finishing. I was probably about halfway. So I was getting very, very excited I was getting this done, because it took me literally 5 hours. Like, I'm not even kidding when I say it took me 5 hours to build this. So let's move on to day 92. So on day 92, I believe I was building the last layer. So I was so relieved to know that I was basically finished with this. Let's move on to day 93. So on day 93, I was finally building the roof. I was getting so close to finishing this, but there was still like an extra, I still need to build the kill chamber, I think, and I still needed to make like a chest for the gunpowder. So let's move on to day 94. On day 94, I finally finished. I was done. I didn't have to build anything else, and I was surprised to see how quick this was working, because I go up the ladder to go up to the kill chamber to see if any spawn, and literally right when I look, 2 of them are already in there, or 3 of them. I don't exactly remember, but they're already in there, which I was surprised to see that. I didn't think they were going to spawn this fast, but it was really efficient. I'd recommend you guys build this if you can, or if you play Minecraft at all. This is really good if you need gunpowder. So let's move on to day 95. So with having all of this gunpowder, you would need paper, which requires sugarcane. So I decided to make a sugarcane farm. So on day 95, I was gathering the supplies I needed to make a sugarcane farm. On day 96, I finished a sugarcane farm, and At first, I didn't think that this was this good, but it works over time. Like, I thought it was going to be really fast. It is really fast, but I thought it was going to be a lot faster, but it does take time, but it was really, really good still. So let's move on to day 97. Alright, on day 97, I started to build a piglin farm because I wanted to make a gold farm, and I didn't really know another way, and I know that you could make this way better. I know you could use, like, magma cubes and stuff like that. That takes way too much time, so I just built a basic one with obsidian. And let's move on to day 98 when I finish it. Alright, so it's day 98, and when I was using it, I found out I built it backwards. And I was very frustrated by this. It really kind of made me angry when I found out I built this backwards. So on day 99, I actually fixed that. Alright, day 99, I fixed it. And I didn't, at this time, I didn't actually know it was day 99. So I had no idea day 100 was the next day. So the next day, we will find out exactly what I do. Alright, so going over all the footage, I found out that this was day 100. Like, I found out right before I did this, it was on day 99. I got so lucky. So, for day 100, I obviously decided that this would be a really nice ending to the day 100. I pretty much respawned the Ender Dragon. And I didn't think of any other way how to end this, so I just respawned the Ender Dragon. And since I had my Elytra, this was really, really easy to do because I just flew around and destroyed all the crystals. So, killed the Ender Dragon with no problem. I think I died almost once or twice. I don't really remember. But yeah, I killed the Ender Dragon with hardly any effort. And after that, I just went back to my home and I just looked at all of the progress I did. Like, I just saw all the stuff I built in a course of that time. Like, it doesn't look like much, but you guys gotta understand that this took me over 30 hours, because about 100 Minecraft days is over 30 hours, and it was a long time. And I actually ended up making this 100 days like 3 months ago or 2 months ago. I don't remember. I was way too lazy to edit it, and I could have had this video out way, way earlier. But, you know, stuff happens. I get bored of this, and I really just thought making this out on Christmas was going to be a really, really nice ending. Or, what's not ending. It's going to be like a really nice day to put this out. So I just want to say that I really hope that you guys had a good Christmas or had a good day. I'm not sure if all of you guys watching had Christmas or celebrate Christmas. I'm not sure. I don't know what other holidays are out there, because I'm just kind of stupid. But anyway, I hope you guys had a good day. Hopefully you had a good Christmas, and I will see you guys later. Peace out, guys. See you in the next video.